This is Joe Grumbine here with Becca Nichols, and I understand we have this thing called a pandemic raging across the planet right now, and we have people thinking that the walk for change might have been upended, and I just want to kind of have a conversation about that because it's not. And it's maybe being a little rearranged and modified, but it's certainly not ending. Becca, what are your thoughts about just the importance of bringing to everybody the understanding that we're still walking, we're still doing this, we're moving forward with the event?
I think it's actually more important now than it ever was, in light of the fact that they're scared and they're lonely. They need a voice. So we are going to do this walk. It may be delayed. I mean, we're paying attention to, of course, the coronavirus and the different restrictions in the various states, the social distancing, the stay in place, and we'll act accordingly. But we are going to physically walk this walk one way or another.
Exactly. I think it's important for everybody to understand that this is a serious endeavor. This isn't a bunch of crazy people just going to do something just because we want to, just because we feel like it, and who cares what the impact is on anybody else. We're going to do this in a responsible way. We're going to do this in a way that's not going to jeopardize people. As this thing plays itself out, as it will, there's going to be the best way to move this thing forward. So we're not rushing to get 1,000 people marching together down the streets and breathing on each other and sneezing on each other. That's not in any way what we're here to do. What we're here to do is bring people together and bring our thoughts and ideas as to how to make positive change in the world together. And I think, we have this kind of, I hate to make too much lemonade out of this, but the truth is we have this unique opportunity where people have been told to stay home, which means they're not out doing the stuff they're normally doing. And we have an opportunity this way, the way we're talking right now on an electronic video conference, to organize and to really get our thoughts together, maybe to get more people to pay attention before we get started. Because like we've talked before, we know once we get walking, people are going to know about it. We're already bringing the media to this. We're already bringing the sponsors into this. But this is an opportunity maybe right now for people to get involved and to share their thoughts, their ideas, their support in a way maybe that they couldn't before. They wouldn't have before because they'd be too busy doing stuff like working and going to concerts and sporting events and all the things that aren't happening right now.
And now, if you think about it, you're not working, most of you. You're stuck at home. You have even more time to plan to participate in the walk. You can make plans ahead. You've got plenty of time now. So take advantage of it.
And not only that, but maybe there's a lot of people paying attention to things that aren't right. There was 6 months ago, the government was acting like the world was just fine, right? The economy was good and business is booming and all these things. Everybody's got a job. That didn't make it okay. That didn't make everything fine. It just made it easy to say that and easy for people looking through a certain lens to say, well, yeah, I guess I got a job. Everything seems to be all right. Right now, there's a lot of people that are in very uncertain times. There's whole businesses, whole industries that are potentially going to be changed forever. And there's a lot of people going, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And a lot of people, especially saying, well, gee, maybe the government's not doing such a great job, and not just the crazy political ridiculousness that's been going on for the last several decades, but in real ways, like why the heck didn't the government have a plan for something like this? They certainly take plenty of my tax dollars. I don't know about you, but certainly they could have been prepared for a national emergency that might affect the health and well-being of, 300 and some million people. seems like we could have maybe done that instead of bought a couple of extra fighter jets or whatever it is that we spend our money on. What are your thoughts about people being aware, maybe about changes that need to happen?
I think that this pandemic has made that wide open, because if you think about it, if it hadn't affected Wall Street, if it hadn't affected the economy the way it had, not in the extraordinary way they reacted, because it hit the top 1%. It put a spotlight on the income disparity between so many classes right now, and it just made it so much more obvious. And I think it's hard to not acknowledge those things, not acknowledge what's wrong in our world and what's been wrong this whole time. I don't want to go back to the way it was. I hope it never goes back to the way it was. I hope this permanently changes at least something.
Yeah, and I think that we have, again, this opportunity for some of these changes that are coming. Like, we're in a situation now where families are actually spending time together. And I mean, how far apart did that happen though? With the advent of these little square boxes that everybody's busy staring into all the time, how much time do parents and their kids actually spend talking? And when was the last time people read a book? And when was the last time, people had a discussion or played a game? Last night, my son-in-law's birthday, we actually got together, just the family people, and we had a meal and played Pictionary. When was the last time you got together as a family and did something, right? Well, having a serious discussion about things is another thing that's happening. These video conferences are maybe a way that people, can get connected with the purpose. With, this whole isolation thing is counter to the health of people, of humanity. It's not good to be isolated. And there's a lot of people who don't have, something to connect with. A lot of people spend their whole being, with their job or their career or their, that is their purpose. All of a sudden you flip that upside down, then now what? And so I'm thinking that maybe this is a chance that we can, get more people to participate with this. Now, physically, we have a lot of people that are uninformed about this walk for change. They're worried about, oh, well, you're not going to come through my city. They're worried about, I see this on the card and I see that over here. But, the reality is, when this walk gets walking, which it will, we're still going to be walking wherever we have willing participants, right? I mean, that's the whole idea behind this. So
yeah, no state will be left out. I mean, we can't do a zigzag through the whole United States, but it doesn't matter what the main
it would
route
take
is.
a long time, yeah.
It would take a really long time, yeah.
5-year walk.
Yeah, but we'll do the main route, whatever that turns out to be. But there'll be satellite walks, little small walks in every state across the United States. And just while we're talking about this, I want to throw this out there, that the walkers are not walking 25 or 30 miles a day. We're doing a relay.
If they want to.
If they want to, they can. People can do that. But nobody's being forced to march like 30 miles a day. I just want to get that out there, because that's a question that's been out there.
Yeah, this is
walk what you can walk.
Giant leapfrog relay race, and there's going to be a staff, a medicine staff that's going to be out in front. Somebody's going to be carrying it, like the Olympic torch sort of idea. And somebody's going to be carrying this thing, and that's going to get passed on from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And there may be times when there's only a handful of people walking. There may be times when there's, hundreds of people, thousands of people walking. And again, we're not going to rush that part of it right now until we know that we can do this safely. But I really believe that these little satellite walks, it's as much about us being thoughtful and creative. I would love to see some people come up with an idea, get 100 people together and, do a walk across their county or do a walk across their city, and carrying a banner, carrying a sign and, wearing a mask if they felt comfortable doing that. But I mean, at the end of the day, being outside is good. you know, being outside is the place where you're going to be safest, really. There's
Hmm.
not anything sticking to a tree, I guarantee you. You know, it's all where we're stuck inside a building. So maybe it's a good time to get out and take a walk and start thinking about, you know, this walk for change. So anyways, I just want to really reassure people that not only is this Walk for Change continuing, but it's an opportunity for people to get involved right now. And I really want to encourage anybody who's listening to this to get on the website, walk4change.us. And the first thing that pops up when you click on that site is a newsletter. And sign up for that newsletter right now, because we're going to be organizing some roundtable town hall meetings and figuring out the best way. And your ideas matter. Your ideas are what's going to make this Walk for Change really be what it can. And we've had a lot of great people that have gotten together with a lot of reasons for walking and a lot of things they want to change. And yours can too.
Yeah, please go to that website. And if you wanna join and you haven't joined yet, sign up. We'll find something for you to do. We'll find a way for you to be involved.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, Becca. And I'm looking forward to walking with you.
Yes.